Hi, I'm Angel Tuccy from Media Firestorm, and I'm excited to showcase another one of our fabulous Media Firestorm clients in this case study interview. Today we have Dominiece. Dominiece, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be able to chat with you today. Thanks for having me for this conversation.
Well, Jimmy and I are so excited. We've been watching your success and watching your journey with Media Firestorm, and so excited to share that with our viewers today. So first of all, just give us your name, your business, and tell us where you're joining us from.
Yeah, so I'm Dominiece Clifton. I am an entrepreneur, I'm a coach, and I'm a business strategist. And my love, I would say, is really empowering aspiring women entrepreneurs to build mission-driven businesses so that they can build a plan to lead their 9 to 5s, those jobs that are unfulfilling. And I'm calling in from Baltimore.
I love it. Well, you're in a beautiful studio. You look dynamite today. You
Thank
look
you.
just like a professional podcast guest. We belong really on a morning show, right? With video and all of that. So tell us a little bit about your business. What was it like before you joined the Media Firestorm program?
Yeah, so I am jumping back into, I have two businesses. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have a B2B business, Move and Still, which is what I've been sort of playing around. That's the world I've been in for the last 2.5 years or so. And then I have my coaching business, specifically Transformation University is the 12-week program for women entrepreneurs. And that's new for me. I was in coaching previously, and I was working back in 2020. I did that for about 2 years. I was working as a nutrition and wellness coach. And it was right at the start of my entrepreneurial journey. And I was in the figure it out phase. And I burned myself out with trying to figure things out. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I did invest in a lot of different business coaches, but I got very overwhelmed because they were all teaching different strategies. And most of them were teaching social media, and it didn't feel like a good fit for me. And so I kept like throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to make things work. It never felt aligned. My body always repulsed sending DMs and all of those sorts of things. But I was like, well, this is what everyone is telling me to do. So I'm doing that. And after burning out, I quit coaching completely and was like, I'm done with this, never going back in it. Y'all can have that. I was happy with moving still. And then at the top of this year, Spirit, I'm very faith led. God started leading me back into coaching. It's like, you've been gathering all of this information over the last 7 years. It's time to start sharing that out. No longer be the student. It's now time to be the teacher. So I sat with that for a while because when I stepped away from coaching, I had no plans of going back because of that experience. And then I just started being obedient and allowing myself to be guided. And that's how I ended up finding the program with you all. And I shared that I like knew that I needed a system, but I wasn't necessarily looking for a program because I'm always in programs. But this stumbled into my email at the right time, and reading the components of the program, I was like, oh, I'm already doing all of these things in isolation. Like if I could find a system that brings it all together, I might be onto something really beautiful. And I feel like I'm onto something really beautiful now.
I love it. Well, I think so too. You are definitely a shining star. So I know that you found the group. Somebody else had recommended it as a place to find
Mhm,
guests. You found the Need a Guest Facebook group. You started getting our emails.
mhm,
When you saw the email, right, that said, right, we're going to have this, I think it was my birthday email.
yep,
It was kind of the last days of my birthday
yep.
email. What did you have any doubts about joining the program? And if so, what made you say yes anyways?
Yeah. So when it was like a Saturday morning, and I woke up and I just happened to be going through and I saw it and I was like, what's this? And I had been seeing the emails come in before that, but I hadn't read any of them. And something in
Jamie
my
will be so
spirit,
excited to hear that.
sorry, Jamie, something in my spirit was like, open this one. And as I was reading through, like, I think what I'm a very detail oriented person. The Google Doc gave me all the details I needed. Like there weren't really many questions by the time I got to the consultation call because I was like, everything's been answered. Like I know exactly what you're offering. I know exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have questions. So for me, I would say that a lot of the objections that I probably would have had before were dispelled because of that document. So I went into the sales call, like I fasted that entire week before my call with Allie and prayed. I went into the call knowing already that I was going to make the decision. I am probably not how most people function, but at this space in my life, it was like, I know what I need and I've been praying for it for a long time. And I have been doing podcasting. I have my own show before even coming to Media Firestorm. I was starting to step back into podcasting. So I already had that system. I was doing newsletters, not as frequently, but I already had it. I had all the pieces. I just didn't have a system that made sense. So I would say most of the objections that I had were answered in that document. The only objection that still came up during the call with Ali, or after the call actually, was how big is this program and how much like personalized attention am I going to be able to get when I need it? Because I've been in a ton of programs and I hate when you jump into something and you're like, oh, there's a lot of people here. Like I'm just a number, you know what I mean? And this program is definitely not that sort of program, but that was my only kind of like resistance or hesitation before like really jumping in.
So tell us a little bit about your experience. What success have you had so far since joining Media Firestorm?
Oh my gosh. So I jumped in, like I said, I'm at this like ready space in my life, which feels really good because after 5 years of like feeling around in the dark in entrepreneurship and being like, hey guys, like when are you gonna throw me a lifeline here? I finally feel like I am like, I know what I'm doing, I'm clear on my purpose, I know who I'm serving. So it's a really exciting space to be. But stepping in, I was still like I knew who I wanted to serve, but I was still kind of unclear about how to talk to that person, right? So I knew that there was this desire on my heart to go back to the entrepreneur that was where I was 5 years ago. And like I thought about all the things that I had struggled with and I had to figure out on my own. And I thought about like how could I build a program that spoke to those needs and those pain points. And I had an idea in my head of what that was like, but I was not clear on my ideal client. And my first 2 weeks, Jamie, man, we were in the ring together. Like I would be like, well, how about this? And he'd be like, we can still go a little bit deeper. And then I would come back with something else and be like, well, how's this? And he's like, nope, I think you can clean that up more. He has such a gift for like taking things, all the ideas and things in our heads and like making sense of them and helping you to pull out the pieces that are important. And so the first 2 weeks was really just me getting clear on my ideal client. And I was also doing the 7-day sequence. And so I was like, figuring it out as I was still sending the email. So literally day one, I jumped in super excited and ready to take action. So as a result of all of that, I've gotten really clear on who I'm talking to and like what my message is for her and like exactly what I'm offering her. Like even getting clear on like, well, what are the outcomes? Like, what are the promises? So I'm clear on all of those things. I have now booked myself on, I'm almost at 15 podcasts that have been like booked, confirmed this first month. I've started doing some of them already. So within the first 30 days, I'm like interviewing and I'm out in that way. And oh, right. I had 4 discovery calls so far. That was my first like 10 days. I had already had 4 discovery calls. And I had my first sale last Friday. And so that has all happened in, it's almost a month. We are not fully out of that 30-day cycle yet. So it's been a full month in Media Firestorm for me.
What an exciting journey, right? And so super fast. I think you are just a real shining star, Dominiece, for when
Thank
Jamie and I
you.
described the program and what we wanted to see happen is to really jump in and take action, right? This
Mhm.
isn't so much let's just go learn a bunch of stuff, but it's in the doing that we see the results. And taking action, you solve it, right? Because you have to.
Yeah.
There's an intensity that has to happen. Now that you've got that now, right? We're only 30 days in.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like what are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before? And what impact? And also I want to say, I love that you call your client her. Like you already know who she
Mhm.
is. Like you
Yeah.
can picture her when you're
Yeah.
talking about her, like you can totally see it. And I feel that. But what positive impact is this going to have on you now?
So I want to address what you said about the jumping in and the taking action before answering the question, because I am usually someone who's the opposite. I am the perfectionist. I want it to be all right. And I've done that my entire business experience. And all it does is like delay me and like I get held up in things that don't make money. And so this time around, I was like, I'm just going to try something different and trust this process. I'm going to start sending these emails, although Jamie and I are working on the back end on getting clear on the messaging. And like literally within that first 7 days, from that day 1 to day 7, there was like already a difference in how I was talking to her. So I'm not usually that person, but y'all have created an environment that makes it easy to trust the process. And you've given an outline that makes it easy to just like put it out there and then tweak. So I want to say that for the women or the people listening that can relate to getting stuck in the perfectionism. And then as far as like what I am excited about and anticipating, I started with a small email list. So I imagine that when folks join, their email lists are all different size. I have less than 500 right now. And already with that, I've still been able to see amazing progress. So I'm excited about building my email list. I'm excited about increasing my visibility consistently, right? Like that was always a problem for me previously. I am super excited about 3 or 6 months from now, like this compound effect of doing this thing every day. Because I'm like, well, darn, if I've gotten all of this progress within 30 days, within not having much, imagine 6 months from now when I've been doing podcasting consistently and I have a bigger email list. Like that is what I'm excited for. So I'm kind of jumping ahead and looking forward to that 3 and 6 month timeline. And then, of course, just like building from there.
I love it. It's perfect, right? Because it does compound, right? We're
Mhm.
only going to get more. We're only going to get better. And as we think about the basics in the beginning, right? We just get really solid with the fundamentals, and we do more of what works, right? And then we can improve it. Dominique, what would you tell someone who's watching this and is unsure about whether or not they should take the next step with us?
So I am someone who believes firmly in investing in yourself. I have at this point in the last 5 years of business gone through over 20 programs, and they've not been all business programs. It's been like I'm a yoga teacher. I am certified in breathwork and meditation. So I've done a lot of different things, but I believe in investing in ourselves, and I believe in finding someone who has already done and figured out the thing that you are trying to do and getting help. Otherwise, you are wasting so much time scrambling around in the dark. And so even when I was scrambling around in the dark years ago, I was still always investing in someone to help me out. And it's trial and error. I think the biggest thing is like making sure that the strategies feel aligned to who you are. I didn't know myself as well when I started. And so I was willing to try all the things. At this point in my business life, I'm like, I know I love podcasting. I know I love newsletters. I know I love talking. Great. Here's a program that offers that. So you want to make sure that whatever you're investing in, it is in alignment with who you are, but don't waste time trying to figure out for yourself something that someone else already has the system and blueprint for. And this program in particular is easy. Like y'all don't ask us to do a lot of things. There's like 2 or 3 things that y'all ask daily. And so they're literally pasted on my computer laptop right here. 3 things to do daily, and that's it. It's not a ton that you have to follow. So just take action and not waste time.
I love it. And they're action steps, right? They're things that are going to produce results for your business. Well, I love it, Dominique, and I love that we're talking about her today. So how does she connect with you? How do you want her to connect with you?
Yeah, so I am still working on my pop-up podcast. And so right now I am sending everyone to my website because that has all the things. I do have a ton of free resources there. So domrclifton.com for any woman who is like, I'm curious about starting a business. I'm at that starting point, but I don't know what to do. You are most likely working a 9 to 5 right now, and you have this yearning in your heart to do more. And so if you are in that space and you want some guidance, or you're just open to what that could look like, domrclifton.com. There's free resources there. So there's breathwork resources, there's business resources, and there's a 5-day stress detox, which is really beautiful because oftentimes I found as a somatic practitioner that stress hinders us in so many ways in business, and fear hinders us. And so this 5-day detox guides you through turning down stress, turning up your intuition, and helping you to begin taking action on the life that you desire and the woman that you desire to become.
Beautiful, beautiful. domrclifton.com. Dominique, thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your journey. Super excited to see what the next 3 and 6 months are in store for you. And I just want to say also, right, for trusting the process and coming
Mm,
into it, have already fasted and like ready to receive. I just think that's a really beautiful way to
thank
prep for
you.
that. So
Thank you.
cheers to you and thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Angel. It's nice to chat.
Nice to chat with you too. We'll talk to you soon.